The line at Horizon Jet's premium lounge moved slowly. Business travelers clutched designer briefcases. A woman in pearls tapped her boarding pass impatiently. Then came a man in gray sweats and worn sneakers, Elijah Brooks, a tall, quiet presence, with a backpack slung over one shoulder. Lena, the lounge manager, glanced up from her tablet. Her eyes scanned the line, then stopped on Elijah. Something in her face changed. She stepped forward. "This area's for elite passengers," she said crisply, without checking his ID. "Please wait over there." Elijah blinked once. He glanced at the others ahead of him, white, well-dressed, barely glanced at before being welcomed in. No questions, no pauses. He nodded politely. "Of course," he said, stepping aside. No anger, no scene. Just a quiet compliance. But something in his eyes lingered, calm, sharp, watching. Amara, a young staffer near the welcome desk, noticed too. She hesitated, almost said something, but then looked away. Elijah took a seat by the wall, opened his phone, began typing notes. What no one knew was that this man owned the airline, and today he was not just traveling, he was watching. Long before Malik Thompson became the CEO of Horizon Jet, he was just a kid with grease on his hands and big dreams in his head. He had grown up in a small town, spending his weekends in his uncle's garage. While other kids played video games, Malik was holding engine parts, asking questions about airflow and torque. His uncle, a retired aircraft mechanic, used to say, "If you can fix what flies, you can fix what fails." Malik carried that lesson everywhere. He started at Horizon Jet, not in a suit, but on the tarmac, pushing luggage, refueling jets, scrubbing floors in hangars no one cared about. And he remembered it all. He remembered the stares when he first walked into management meetings. He remembered the silence when he spoke up, the way some colleagues never quite looked him in the eye. It was not always loud, but it was always there. Years passed. Promotions came, slow at first, then faster. But with every new title, Malik kept hearing the same quiet warnings from passengers, from junior staff, from employees like Carmen Reyes, Horizon Jet's director of training. "There's something broken," she told him once, laying a folder on his desk. "The staff we put at the front, many of them don't reflect the values we print in handbooks. The culture is polite, but it's not fair." Malik had listened carefully, and then he made a decision. No press release. No cameras, just a hoodie, a backpack, and a silent boarding pass. Over the next few months, he began visiting terminals across the country, lounges, counters, customer service desks, always unannounced, always quietly. What he saw hurt more than he expected. He watched black passengers told to wait while others walked past. He watched mothers juggling children while staff rolled their eyes. He saw tired veterans in economy being ignored, while younger, wealthier travelers got smiles and extra help. He kept his head down. He kept notes. When Carmen asked how the visits were going, he simply said, "Worse than I hoped. Better than some fear. But we're not where we say we are." And then came today. Gate 18A. Lena's voice. Her dismissive glance. He had already seen the pattern a dozen times before. But today, it had a face. Hers. And that was enough. From across the lounge, a young man named Jaden Brooks, just off a flight, still in his tracksuit, saw the whole thing. He did not know who Malik was, but he could tell something was wrong. He watched Malik take out his phone and write something down, and for a second, their eyes met. There was no anger in Malik's face, no pride, just purpose, the kind that comes from knowing you are done watching. He stood up slowly. It was time. That same evening, Malik sat in a quiet conference room at Horizon Jet's headquarters in Manhattan. No press, no board members, just two people he trusted, Carmen Reyes, Director of Training, and Noah Daniels, Head of Operations. Carmen had been waiting. She knew something had happened. Noah, still in his suit from a public investor meeting, was more surprised. Malik placed his phone on the table and tapped the screen. The video began to play. It was short. No sound. Just 3 clips, one after the other. First, Los Angeles. A black woman in business attire approaches the premium lounge. She is asked for multiple IDs. Behind her, a white man in shorts and flip-flops is waved through without a word. Second, Atlanta. A Hispanic family with 2 toddlers waits for help. The staff chats with each other, looking past them. 3 white college kids walk up and are helped right away. Third, JFK, that morning. Malik himself, standing patiently in line. Brittany Wallace, the lounge manager, glances at him, then points him toward the wall. "Stand over there," she had said. Noah leaned back slowly in his chair. "Are these from today?" "Spread over 2 months," Malik said. "All taken." "On my own phone." Carmen shook her head. "It's the same, every time." Noah looked between them, still processing. "So what are you saying? That it's the culture? The training?" Malik's voice was steady, but firm. "I'm saying the pattern is real, and it's been allowed to grow. We have rules, but they are not applied equally, not when no one's watching." Noah folded his hands. "You want to redo the training?" Carmen spoke before Malik could. "No. We need to start over." But Malik shook his head. "No," he said. "We don't start over. We start by holding people accountable." The room went quiet. He reached into his bag and pulled out a folder. Thick, marked with tabs. "Every location I visited is in here. Notes, times, names, and patterns." He laid it on the table. "I want an emergency audit of every customer-facing location. I want recorded staff interactions sampled and reviewed. And I want immersive retraining, real scenarios, real pressure, real consequences." Noah looked stunned. "This is going to rattle people." "Good," Malik replied, "because what we're doing now is worse. We've built a brand on fairness and comfort. But if you are black or brown and walk into one of our lounges, your experience depends on who's on shift. That's not comfort. That's a coin toss." Carmen opened the folder and started flipping through the tabs. Her face tightened. "Some of these names. I trained some of these people," she whispered. "How did we miss this?" "We did not miss it," Malik said softly. "We looked away from it." He turned to Noah. "I want you to prepare the audit brief by tomorrow morning. You'll have full access. No one is off limits." Then he looked at Carmen. "You'll design the retraining program. No fluff. No videos with smiling actors. Real-life pressure. Real choices." He stood up and picked up the folder. "And this time," he said, walking toward the door, "I want names. And I want impact." The door clicked shut behind him, and inside the room, the weight of what had just started hung heavy in the air. The hallway to Gate 17A buzzed with movement, but Elijah Brooks walked through it slowly, as if each step held weight. He had changed out of his hoodie. Now he wore a sharp navy blazer with a small Horizon jet pin over his heart. His phone was in one hand. A small black mic was clipped to the collar of his shirt. He reached the gate area. The media team was already there, chatting casually. They thought he was announcing a new international route, maybe a merger. Something light. But Elijah's face said otherwise. Carmen Reyes stood quietly by the back rail, tablet in hand. Noah Daniels leaned against a column, arms crossed, eyes scanning the crowd. The space filled up quickly. Not just passengers, but staff too, flight attendants, gate agents, off-duty crew who had heard something big was happening. One of them was Jaden Brooks, the young janitor who had witnessed Elijah being turned away hours ago. He stood at the very back, near the vending machines still in uniform. His eyes followed Elijah's every step. The lounge door across the hall was closed now. A temporarily unavailable sign had been hung over the polished wood. Inside, Brittany Wallace and her assistant managers were being quietly escorted out by security. Elijah stepped forward and stood at the gate desk. The chatter began to fade. One by one, people turned to look. He tapped the mic once. A soft click echoed. Then silence. His voice came steady, firm. "Good afternoon. My name is Elijah Brooks. I am the CEO of Horizon Jet." The effect was instant. Heads snapped up, phones lifted. Some whispered. Others stared. Elijah looked out at them all, not with anger, but with the quiet command of a man who had seen enough. "Many of you saw me this morning, standing in line at the premium lounge, wearing a backpack, waiting like any other guest. And some of you watched what happened next." He paused. No one moved. "I was told to step aside. No greeting, no questions. Just stand over there." And that is exactly what I did. He let the silence stretch. Because I needed to see what it feels like. I needed to confirm what our reports and internal concerns have hinted at for too long. He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out folded papers, printed screenshots, timestamps, staff notes, selective service, bias in access, favoritism, based on appearance, accent, or the color of someone's skin. His voice hardened slightly. "That is not customer service. That is discrimination. And it ends today." A ripple went through the crowd. Some glanced at each other. Carmen didn't blink. Noah just nodded once. Elijah held the pages up. "As of this hour, the entire JFK Premium Lounge management team has been relieved of duty." Gasps. One woman in the crowd covered her mouth. "This is not about revenge. This is about responsibility. Horizon Jet will now begin a nationwide audit of all guest service operations. Every lounge, every gate, every city." His eyes swept the room. "Starting tomorrow, every employee in a customer-facing role will enter immersive retraining. Real-world scenarios, role reversals, surprise audits." A pause. "Because if you cannot treat every guest with respect, whether they wear a suit or sweatpants, you cannot represent this company." A soft clap began in the back. Jaden Brooks. Just one person at first, then another, and another. Soon the gate area echoed with real applause. Not the kind that comes with press releases, the kind that comes with relief. Elijah raised a hand to quiet the room again. "Let me be clear. This is not a PR stunt. This is a reset. And we are doing it in public because the public deserves to see who we really are." His tone softened. "I built airplane engines with my uncle at 13. I scrubbed fuselages at night in winter. I've been told I didn't look like a leader more times than I can count. A beat. But today, I'm telling you, we're building a company where no one gets dismissed at the door." The applause came again. Stronger. Carmen's eyes were glassy. Noah stood a little straighter. And Jaden? He had never seen a CEO talk like that. Never seen someone who looked like him stand in front of a crowd and change the rules. The sun was beginning to set over New York City. Its warm orange light spilled into the glass walls of the Horizon Jet executive office suite. The noise of the day had faded, the gate announcements, the clapping. Even the buzz of phone alerts repeating Elijah's speech. Now, it was quiet. Malik Thompson sat alone in his office, a dark wooden desk before him, a black notebook open in front of him. Behind him, on the wall, hung a large framed photo, a black and white image of the very first Horizon Jet maintenance crew. No suits, just coveralls, tools in hand, smiles full of pride. Among them was a young janitor named Eli Jenkins. And just beside him, a teenage Malik, barely 15, standing next to his uncle, holding a wrench like it was gold. Malik stared at that photo for a long time. He picked up his pen. No cameras now, no speeches, just words he needed to write. Ati. First, it was a sentence, then 2, then 3. A knock on the door broke the stillness. Carmen Reyes stepped in, tablet under her arm, her expression soft but focused. "They're asking for a quote," she said. "The media, social's blowing up. Every outlet's running the video, but they want something more. A statement from you. Something that tells people why." Malik smiled faintly. He turned the notebook around and slid it toward her. "Here," he said simply. "Let them print this." Carmen read the page. It wasn't a long message. It didn't need to be. "We grounded a few people today, because we plan to take off tomorrow." Her eyes lingered on the words. She nodded. "It's perfect." She walked out, already forwarding the message to the press team. Within minutes, it hit the wires. Then the hashtags started. Grounded to rise. Horizon reset. We'll fly. Reporters quoted it. Commentators called it bold. Critics called it overdue. But Malik? He sat quietly, looking out over the tarmac. A small commuter jet took off, disappearing into the evening sky. He stood, buttoned his jacket, and walked out of the office without fanfare. No entourage. No cameras trailing behind. Just a man who had done what needed to be done. Not out of anger, but out of care for the future. As he passed the maintenance bay, one of the older engineers gave him a small nod. Malik returned it, remembering the awful grease on his hands, the late shifts, the way people looked at him like he didn't belong. But he did. He always had. Now it was his job to make sure everyone else knew they belonged too, and that from this point forward, everyone would be treated like they mattered, from the person at the top to the one mopping the floors at midnight. The airport was quieter now. The last few evening flights were boarding. Most of the crowd that had filled the gates hours earlier had scattered. Security guards leaned against walls. Staff moved slower, finally breathing. Malik Thompson walked alone through Terminal C. No cameras this time. No reporters, just the soft squeak of polished shoes and the distant call of boarding groups. As he neared Gate 9, he paused. There, under the dim overhead lights, was Eli Jenkins, the janitor. Eli was wiping down the gate seating, his mop and bucket nearby, a folded cloth in one hand. He moved slowly but carefully, checking every corner. Malik smiled. "Long day?" he asked gently. Eli looked up, surprised. He didn't recognize Malik right away, not in his suit, not out of the shadows. Then he blinked and nodded. "Always," Eli said. "But someone's got to keep it clean." Malik walked over, stood beside him for a moment, just watching. "You do more than keep it clean," Malik said. "You hold this place together. People like you. Make it work even when no one sees it." Eli chuckled, looking down at his hands. "Well, they don't usually say thank you," he replied. "But I appreciate it." Malik reached into his coat pocket, pulled out a folded envelope and handed it to him. "It's not much," he said. "But it's something." Eli opened it slowly. A note inside read, "To the ones who keep flying even without wings, thank you." Empty inside the envelope was a handwritten invitation to Horizon Jet's newly forming Employee Impact Council. Something Malik had quietly pushed through with the board. "You'll be one of the first voices in it," Malik added. "We're not fixing this from the top down anymore. We're starting at the floor." Eli looked stunned. "Me? On a council? You've earned it." Malik gave a nod, turned and kept walking. Further down the terminal, he spotted another familiar face, Amara Green, the young staffer from the lounge who had hesitated that morning. She was sitting at a gate counter, flipping through safety manuals, a cold coffee beside her. She looked up and saw him coming. Her posture straightened. "Sir, Mr. Brooks." She started, standing. "Malik," he interrupted with a smile. "And relax." She nodded quickly, eyes wide. "I wanted to say, I froze earlier. I should have spoken up. You saw something wrong." You felt it. That's the first step. The next is doing something about it. He reached into his briefcase and pulled out a packet, an onboarding folder stamped with Horizon Jet Culture Reform Unit. We're building a team, Malik said, to change everything from how we greet guests to how we promote our people. I want you on it. Amara stared at it like it was made of gold. Me? She whispered. You already passed the test, Malik said. You cared. For a second, she didn't speak. Then she took the folder carefully, holding it to her chest like it might float away. Thank you, she said. Don't thank me. Just show up ready. He gave a small nod and turned to leave. As he walked toward the exit, Malik passed a digital display showing his own face. CEO's surprise visit shakes up airline industry. Headlines scrolled across the screen. Opinion pieces, debates, praise, criticism. He paused, then looked away. Because this had never been about headlines. Not about being liked, not about saving face. It had been about doing what was right, and for. The first time in a long time, Malik Thompson believed, really believed, that change was finally taking off.